Katie Heine, welcome to the Vermillion Unplugged. How are you doing today?
Good, I'm great. I have been looking forward to this.
Really?
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Me too. So, apparently, this is from my view. You're a celebrity in town, I think? People know you?
That's the rumor.
Oh, okay. Because, the first time I heard your name was Jim Peterson.
Yeah.
He told me that you just came into the chamber. And then I looked on Facebook and I saw, the VCDC said that, or announced you were on there. Boom, a bunch of likes, a bunch of good comments from like people that I know. I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
I guess she's famous or something. But, let's get into it. So what do you do?
I am the chamber manager for the VCDC. I basically communicate and get communications from our chamber members, also our communities, any of our, movers and shakers in town, what they want to see. And then if there's any groups or organizations that want to do something or know of an event that's possible or a connection, any kind of relationship that we can go after, they let us know. And I help facilitate that and bring it back to the team, make it come into fruition.
Now, do you help run like the events with like Thursday on the Plots and all that?
Yep.
How was that Thursday yesterday? Was it cool?
It was warm to start, but it was really, really great. We have a new feature we're really excited about. We added a sprinkler attachment. The city of Vermillion created this sprinkler attachment to be hooked up to the fire hydrant. I took inspiration from during COVID. The pool wasn't open during COVID for obvious reasons, and the fire department had this great idea of doing hydrant days. I think it looked a little bit different, but they essentially opened up the fire hydrants for the kids during hot days, and they could be outside and safe space. Not so close to everybody, social distancing was still a thing, and it helped serve the summertime need of getting cooled off and doing something fun. So we brought that back to Thursdays on the Plots. City facilitated. We put it right on a fire hydrant, and Blue Peak is our presenting sponsor for this year. They made it happen, and it's awesome.
Oh, snap. Now,
Yeah.
has there been any good feedback or differences between the other years, or everything's going good so far?
Yeah, we always get really great feedback from the community or other sponsors, other businesses who are a part of Thursdays on the Plots. We're really receptive. That's our job, is to be receptive to suggestions, whether it's constructive criticism or like, hey, I have an idea. Could you guys make that happen? So each year is different, but we feel like each year is better than the last. And we're already seeing that after week 3 of Thursdays on the Plots. Our crowd is bigger. Our business engagement is even better. And yeah, each week it's better.
Man, I remember I don't know if we went last year, but 2 years ago. So first of all, like we talked before at the gymnastics because our kids are in there.
Yep.
And when was it, like last week, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Yeah. And so we were talking for a bit. But anyways, we did 2 years ago. So sometimes we'll sell like tacos, me and my wife.
Yep.
People know we were the ones that were in downtown, like on the street.
Yeah.
Not food. It was just like a stand. Anyways, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to start it. I've been to the Thursday on the Plots 3 years ago, and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. I would like to sell food, especially Mexican food. So that's when we came up here, and the whole reason was I wanted to do Thursday on the Plots. So we did one of them, and then we did that Gather Red. I think that's what's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it was. I had fun. I don't know about my wife because it is very tiring, but man, I just love it because there's all these people. You got big old lines. People are, they like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could have swore I'm not praising us, but it was a lot of people.
Yeah.
I never seen that many people in the line.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It was great. I really, really loved it.
Yeah. No, you should definitely take in the praise because you have a good reputation. Subor, definitely.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure. Yeah.
And it's a shame we haven't done it like this year. Actually, well, depending on when this is aired. So tomorrow not tomorrow. This Sunday, we're going to be at the Flower Farm. Or people know Flourish.
Yeah, Flourish. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're excited about that. But I wish we could do more stuff. But that's another issue, like with other permits and stuff. But
yeah,
it's fun. I really like it a lot.
Yeah. And the best thing about Thursdays on the Plots, we've really embraced a more flexible scheduling type of format where if maybe the last 2 weeks didn't work for you, let us know and we'll make room for you next week. And it's very like, pick whichever week works for you. We just want you to be there. So, and then there's several other events that we can open up to you guys if you're up and running again. There's always an option, and there's always somebody who can make it work, and that somebody's usually us. But yeah, definitely can get in touch with us and we'll figure it out.
Do you have to be a member? Like, if anyone wanted to do it, do you have to be a member to be on this stuff?
Nope. We usually have it. So we want to make a benefit for our members. So the members either get free admission, free tabling, or a discounted tabling rate. Non-members are always welcome. So their rate might just be a little bit more.
Okay.
Yep. So for example, our tabling rate is usually $100. A non-member is $150. So, and then we have a special rate for nonprofits. You know, we recognize that some of our groups are a little smaller, right? So what like United Way might need is not quite as big as what Masaba or Polaris might need. They're a bit bigger scale, have more staff. So we make sure we're paying attention to that we're servicing everybody's needs. So United Way, being a nonprofit, they would have a discounted tabling rate. So
has it always been like that?
Yeah.
Oh snap! Then. Okay. Okay. I'll ignore that because ours is a little different. I think a while back, but I don't know. It was during the time when, so we were here, but like for some reason, like everyone like started leaving, coming back, like the people that run the place. So like you guys are new.
You mean here in VCDC?
Yeah, in the VCDC.
Yeah. Yep. There's been some transition. Yeah, with staff. This job is really hard, but in the best way. You give everything you've got every day. And if you don't fill up your plate, I mean, that's kind of part of the job. I think it takes certain personalities for sure to be in these roles. And the team that Jim has come up with, has put together, I think seriously, the sky is the limit with us. I mean, I don't want to get too braggy, but I think the way he has crafted this team for the VCDC is going to have some really great things happening in the future.
So why did you want to join the VCDC again?
So the first time I actually got voluntold is what I would say. My friend Kimberly, who works at USD, was on the activities committee for the VCDC, and they handled more the logistics and the volunteer side of setting events up. So we did their annual banquet, a couple of ribbon cuttings, the Christmas parade of lights. And so I started out volunteering, and then I slowly got really into it. I liked being involved. I kind of liked being on the facilitating side. I wanted to get my marching orders and just do my thing and not make a ruckus. And the more I got into it, the more I wanted to help and be a part of it. And I was really good friends with the previous chamber manager, Lindsay. She's back in Vermillion, but she was leaving. And she was leaving the role, and she said, you would be a great fit. And I didn't believe her. Then I got some more feedback from people, and they're like, oh, you need to do it. And so I did it. And the first time, it was really great. I was there for under 2 years. I learned so much. It was more in that 2 years than I had maybe in the 5 years that I was away. Learning all about just the type of community that Vermillion is and the type of people that we have. And then that we're all in it and invested in Vermillion's development and improvement all the time. We might go about it in some different ways, but we're all here to make Vermillion better. And it was really, really wonderful experience. I had gotten out just when COVID was starting to hit. I don't know if it was a sign or if it really was that my kids were really young at the time. I'm also married to a farmer. So the farm wife life is not always very easy. You're kind of a single mom every once in a while. So I had decided to go with something a little bit quieter, a little bit calmer at USD, which was perfect. It definitely was a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, excuse me. And you left your work at home, and that was it. And it was great. So I was there for about 5 years, and the chamber manager job came open again. Jim was new in his role, and Jim and I had worked together when I was here previously, when he was still at Mathaba, and really admired Jim. He's got a great mind and work ethic, and he brings a mass of experience that if I can retain any ounce of that, I will be in a really good spot. So he convinced me to come back. And again, I had a ton of support from my family, the community, other organizations that I'm on. It was really, really encouraging and made me feel great. So I said, why not just come back? And best decision I've made is to come back here.
See, you are famous. You're on everything. You're on organizations and you got recommended. Snap. I wish I was that famous.
Oh, gosh, you stay in Vermillion long enough, you'll get there.
Man, one thing about, so my view has changed on Vermillion for the good, because we got here and I repeat this story all the time. And people are always, I swear, every episode I say I'm from Texas. So, we came here in 2020 and around September. Same thing was for during that COVID stuff because I just graduated and I lost my job. The one I just got.
Sure.
That was horrible.
Oh.
It lasted like I think like a week or two. But anyways, I applied at USD. I don't remember applying. So that's why when we got the letter, it said, "Hey, congratulations, blah blah blah. You're working here. It's in South Dakota." And I was like, I don't know where South Dakota is. I don't remember applying.
No kidding.
But we found it, and then we got the stuff and everything. But so I came here with my wife and my kid, and it was all the plan. I swear, the plan was just going to be here for just a year to get like some experience at the lab, and then head back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay.
And then for some reason, no, we're here. We like it. I guess this is our place to stay forever, maybe.
Good.
But I remember when we got here, small town, and it's like the first time I've been to a small town where like the neighboring towns or city are like far away.
Mm-hmm.
Or for me, it was far away, like more than 30 minutes.
Right.
Man, we drove and it was just a bunch of corn. It was just a bunch of corn. I got crazy. I swear, it was crazy. But anyways, I remember when we were here, I was like, man, there's like nothing to do. But it was during that COVID stuff, so there wasn't much to do.
Literally nothing to do.
Yeah. But the summer hit, and the summer was like wonderful. Like there's a pool. The weather's amazing. I think the weather's amazing.
Good.
Even though it's like kind of humid, people will see me. They'll see me in long sleeves most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm wearing short or short sleeve, it is warm. You can see me wearing shorts. That means it's hot.
So if we're wondering what the temp is outside, we'll just look for Jose.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not that hot.
But that was kind of. Anyways, so I remember seeing, I was like, oh, I guess this is how small Vermillion is. It's great. I do like it, and it's safe. Something that surprised me and my wife was surprising my wife because she's from Mexico. She's like, hey, there's no bars on the windows so people could break in. And what surprised me was like, hey, why are the garages open, especially at night? Because I'm not used to that. But it's a very, I think so, safe community, great for families. It's wonderful.
Good.
The thing that changed me, just a little bit, I started doing my investigation stuff this year. I went to Yankton.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, this is Yankton's pretty big. I went to Sioux City, but I'm like, it's normal. Sioux Falls is like, a bigger city. What surprised me last year when I went to Brookings, and because I've heard about Brookings, especially, they're the jackrabbits.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought population's double the size. I was like, oh, it's probably like Vermillion, but just double. We went there and I was like, whoa, Brookings is a lot different. Like it looks kind of like they got a bunch of stuff. And when I came here, I was like, huh, why is it so small? So that's when I started. If people know why I'm always asking questions, I was always curious, wondering, like, hey, how come like there's not? I'm not saying there's not much stuff, but like it hasn't grown to like Yankton, like the neighboring towns.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where I was going with that, but overall, I do like Vermillion a lot. I think it's small, but I like it because we go to Sioux City for our food or for our groceries.
Sure.
Then we come back and there's no traffic. Everything's safe. We're back to a little small town. Mm-hmm. I know some people wish there was like a Target. everyone talks about Taco Bell for some reason.
Yeah. So. I'm okay. There's not a Taco Bell because I would not be fitting in this chair, I don't think. But I think that's a really good note, because Vermillion is very different. They don't have it's quite a big industrial presence, not a lot of manufacturing here yet. That is definitely potential, and that's something that is always on the radar for VCDC. Like Brookings and Yankton, they are quite a bit bigger, and they have that. But the sky's the limit with Vermillion. We can do pretty much anything. We do require a certain number in our census. So, I mean, if I can do a shameless plug, I was on the census. I think it was 2020. It was either right before COVID hit or just after. A select group of us community members were part of a like census focus group. Clay County, South Dakota was what was called a red flag like community or county federally, because our census numbers were so low and were unrepresentative of how many people they thought actually lived here. So we had a task force of how do we get the census numbers up, because that is the prime thing that businesses, groups, any kind of chain is going to look at if they want to relocate or open a location in Vermillion. They're going to see what our numbers are. And if people aren't answering their census, aren't filling out the census, we're giving them an inaccurate number. We're telling them we're smaller than we actually are. So for all of you, Taco Bell and what all the other chains that they want, I think I saw Petco. Would love Petco. It'd be so cool. Fill out your census for us, people, because that's where we get our numbers and that's how we get businesses here. But until then, the VCDC is doing the best that they can to handle that and make sure our economic development is constantly working.
Do people really want to Taco Bell?
I don't know. I think I think you should take advantage of what we have here. Like if Subway ever gets going again and up and about, we'll be sending people there. But like Fayuca and then Mamacitas is coming up, and we have local. And then we even have like Blue Tequila down the street, I say, from Elk Point.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Really great. Love. It keeps my toddler occupied, just looking at all the cool little streetscapes, all the engravings in the table and chairs. Taking advantage of what's here first and then figure out what we're missing. You know, I think a lot of people look at what's not here and they haven't been outside lately. They haven't gone outside their comfort zone. Get out and try something different. And then start looking at what's missing.
I think you're right on that. Now I think I don't know. My wife says she's a foodie. I think I'm more of like amateur home cook still, but she loves like when we go out. If we go out to eat, she likes trying different things.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we made our goal to try everything. I think we tried everything unless I'm missing, like all the restaurants. Like we tried, the popular ones like Silk Road, Dakota Brick House. We tried Cafe Brulee. We went to Hartford Steakhouse.
Yep.
I heard about their, I think it's called a pot roast no, what's it called?
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, like it's like thick, like a
prime rib.
Yeah. Yep. Prime rib. I never had that, and I always heard about it. I'm like, well, let's go. It was like the only thing they sold. I'm like, well, first of all, when we went inside. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give you I think it's a great story for me.
I want to hear.
So when we came here that first time for the Vermillion, it was just me working. Myra hasn't worked, or she wasn't working at the university yet, and the pay was
Yeah.
So and it was like our first time getting up here. I'm not around any family. So anyways, like we heard about like the food pantry and this and that, and we would go like once a month just to get like. Because they get all these, I think Walmart gives her like vegetables and all that, which is great. I like that. I love the food pantry stuff. But I remember like walking right next to United Way is Hartford Steakhouse.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe it. Like every time we walk past it, I see, there's a window, I see people eating, and I heard about it was kind of pricey. And I was like, man, like hopefully one day we could go and one day I could afford all this stuff. Like one day. I remember that because I would be embarrassed, but I shouldn't be embarrassed for going in there. But finally, I mean, we tried it, I think when did we try it? I know it was this year. We finally went inside and it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I've never been in there. And I was like, well, this is nice. And then we got the prime rib, and then the meat's really good. The fat is tender. I'm like, oh, snap, this stuff is good.
Yeah.
And I was telling my wife after that when we left, I was like, hey, we finally did it. We went to a Hartford Steakhouse. It's kind of cool.
I mean, it's those benchmarks that are like, they might not mean a whole lot to somebody else, but somebody who's been in that position where things are tight, and then when you can finally like, this is a luxury and it's ours today, it means so much more. We love
Yeah.
that.
And then what I love also about like, especially doing all these like interviews, like when I did one with the United Way or with Kelsey, and then also with John from the Welcome Table. And I think on Monday I'm gonna do one with Emmanuel
Okay.
for Feeding Vermillion. But like you learn about these organizations and what they do and how they help out. I'm like, whoa, this is great. And then I just did one if I already uploaded it with the founder. Her name's Diane from Sharing the Dream.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and then like, you know, she's saying like the thanks to the people of Vermillion for like, you know, helping them out. And then there's helping people out in Guatemala. I'm like, oh snap, like this community, they like to help a lot, all of y'all. It's something, it's completely new to me still. Cause especially when we're there's not really like a community. I mean, what, like, I don't know how many, there's like 900,000 people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I think. Here, like, you know, everyone, for some reason, everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
So it's like a real community.
Yeah.
That's what I like a lot. It's
Good.
It's cool.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I really like Vermillion a lot. Even though sometimes I'll complain, I'll be the one saying, "Man, I wish there was like a Best Buy or something like that." But that's just me. But anyways, let's get back to you. So, Katie, what is there any like future events that you guys are planning on doing in Vermillion?
With the VCDC specifically, we are in the throes of Burger Battle. There's you've got about like 4 days left. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay, you've got until Wednesday to finish up your Burger Battle voting.
Explain that, because I see it and I see it every year, but I don't know what that is.
Okay, so we have a handful of businesses who are participating, and they create a signature burger, whether it's their favorite classic or it's a signature one that they've made just this year, and they are competing against each other. It's on the app, or if you haven't downloaded the app, if you scan the QR code when you get to a participating restaurant, they'll have it for you. All you do is scan the QR code and the app will show up, but then you vote, and everybody, you should try a burger, and then you go and you vote, and then the app tallies up everybody's score. And at the end of the competition, Michelle Maloney, whose business is sponsoring this, making sure this is all possible, she'll be presenting the winner. We're hoping to announce that early August if everything goes right. But we have really great engaged businesses, and all of our restaurants who are competing have a little bit something different. And there is not a burger on that competition slot that are the exact same. And its competition is steep this year. And I think I've got 4 burgers left to try.
Okay.
Oh man. And I feel like I vote the same every single time. Like, it's always delicious. It's always and so I don't know if I'm messing up the scoring at all, but it all probably is the same. They're so good. And so our business is participating in that. You can all find them on the app or on our website, livevermillion.com. It has information there too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Ah, man, I feel like I might. No, I still got time this weekend for the burger thing.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've never seen. I heard about a wing battle, or is that something different?
That's at Ribs, Rods, Rock and Roll, and I'm also on that committee.
Okay.
So they are doing that. It's we'll have to double check the website to make sure, but I'm almost positive it's an amateur cook wing war. Like, anybody from the community can sign up, and the Ribs, Rods, Rock and Roll, one of the sponsors, will provide wings, and you cook them however you want, and then it's judged, and the winner gets a prize. Ribs, Rods, and Rock and Roll has been around for a long time. I want to say this is their 10th year, maybe their 11th, but they've been around for a while, and they used to host a barbecue competition that's part of a circuit. Like, there's a whole national group that does it, the KCBS barbecue. It was great. It's found its way out this year. We wanted to focus a little bit more on community involvement. And in a car show, the car show's been around for forever, but they're still focusing on barbecue. Jody Harnois with Hex Barbecue has been a prime pillar of that planning committee, and he was part of the founding group, and there's a lot of fun stuff. There's live music. It's free and open to the public, and so anybody can come down. We have a ton of food trucks coming. I'm sure there's several activities that I'm missing, but they can be found at sdbbq.us.
Okay.
They Google ribs, rods, rock and roll, Vermillion. They'll find it too.
Okay. Because 2 years ago we went, well, I guess we kind of went because we were serving food there, but I thought it was great. It was cool. You got to see all these people and it was fun. And then I'll give you a little con, but it's no one's fault. So after that, I was telling my parents about it. I was like, hey, next year you should come to this little festival. It's called Ribs Rods. It's, they got ribs, there's rods, and rock and roll. It's really cool. It's really cool. I thought it was cool. Yep. So I kept hyping it up, and they were going to, I think they were my uncle and them were going to come, but they didn't. So my parents came, and it was, because it's usually in September, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they came last year in September, and it was not what I expected. It was smaller, and I remember, I think my dad kind of made fun. Is it? And I'm like, I swear, because we were there on the Friday, I was like, no, it's probably tomorrow then. But it was so small. But do you know why it was just like that, or just one of those years?
It could be. Each year is so different, and we've had to deal with several. I think there was one year we dealt with like a complete full day of no show with the food trucks, which happens. And there was a supply issue one year. I think it was the year following COVID. There was just like no chicken available for the wing war, and I think brisket was pretty hard to find.
Okay.
But the 2-day events are kind of tricky. There's usually one day that is just bumping. That's just super, super busy, really popular. And then the next day kind of struggles to follow suit. But the Ribs and Rods crew really are working hard to make sure that they've got something really great for each day. One year, I think we even had like awesome day Friday, and then we got rained out Saturday. And South Dakota weather, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And that always kind of, you just got to be prepared for that. And it doesn't give you the same turnout, but you got to roll the punches.
Yeah. Because that 2 years ago when we did it, that Friday, it was raining, but that Saturday, it was like beautiful. I remember that, because I remember, I think my wife got sick on that Friday, I think, or she felt really, really bad. She was like, oh, this is weather. I'm like, I'm sorry. We're almost through it. But also, I see like the Ribs Rods Facebook, and it looks like they're hyping it up, saying like, oh, we got this. And I want to invite my parents and be like, hey, come this year. Last year was different, but this year.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like disappoint. But I really, those type of festivals or stuff they have here like that. I know there's like the Clay County Fair y'all guys do.
Yep.
And then last year, I think it was Prentice Park, the 100.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because we
their anniversary celebration.
Yeah, because we were the vendor too. Well, that and Hy-Vee with their hot dogs. I remember that. But there's some like cool stuff. I do got a question though. Like for the Ribs Rods, how come would it be possible to get like rides, carnival rides, or the Clay County Fair, or is it different in Vermillion?
Yeah. So Clay County Fair. I'm also on the fair board.
Oh,
so
you're famous. I told you.
I'm just like, don't have a life. So I just signed myself up for all this cool stuff. And then my husband's like, what are you doing? You're never home. But I love to meet people. I love to be a helper. I love to be part of things. And so whether I'm volunteering, like just picking up trash, or if I'm actually in it, like in the thick of it, because this year I was on the fair board. I think I've been on the fair board for about 10 or 11 years. Now we're shifting into our kids showing, so they're showing livestock and bringing their exhibits to the fair. So we're shifting a little bit, but the fair, this is kind of a backstory, but Vermillion and I have had a relationship for a long time. I grew up in Wakanda, which is just a half hour away. Not this kind of Wakanda. I have to warn people, like, it's not that Wakanda. This Wakanda is tiny farm community. But there's like, maybe we've met 300 people. I don't know if there's 300 people in Wakanda anymore. 280. Half hour northwest of here. And we grew up in 4-H also. So we would show horses and pigs. And then I showed cats. Yeah. Ask me about that later. Oh my gosh. I don't put that on my resume. Let's just say that. Okay. So we would come to Vermillion for setup and for showing. And it was like my favorite memory is coming to Vermillion, because we'd see all of our buddies that we never get to see just once a year. We worked really hard and we got to show our animals, and, the wins were great, but being able to do something out of your element was so much fun. And back then they did have a carnival, and it was great. And I think the carnival situation was really kind of trickier as it got on. We had some trouble with the personnel showing up and coming back. And then carnivals were getting more and more expensive, and the fair really hit a spot where their money was extremely, extremely tight. They were not making money, and the fair board, when I came on, that's exactly where we were. We were really struggling to make sure that our dollars were going to something sustainable. So we had to make the decision to X the carnival. But we have really, really great leadership there now, and the fair board hired Missy O'Connor, who's our fair manager. The best thing to ever happen to our fair, ever, hands down. And she will deny this, Missy. I swear, it's all you. She's one of those. She's a lot like Jim. She knows how to get the right people into the room, and she has made it possible for us to be successful and sustainable without having a carnival, but still having enough. Being successful enough that a carnival in the future is not impossible.
Okay.
We have inflatables, which are super popular with the kids. The inflatables are great, a little more safer. And it's kind of nice because we have some volunteer opportunities there. There's a lot of groups at USD. There's a lot of community groups that want to volunteer. And we get them to volunteer at the inflatables. And it's another great relationship that we can take advantage of in Vermillion.
Okay. See, with the Clay County Fair, and I had to change my mindset. Like, I had to change it because when I heard about it, so I don't know if you know about the Fort Worth stock show that they do here.
Yeah. Not here.
Or remember, over there. I wish they did one here.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah.
So I was used to that, and then when I heard about the Clay County Fair, for some reason I thought, oh, it's gonna be like that, just a little bit smaller. It was way smaller.
A lot smaller.
Yeah, it was a lot smaller. I forgot that, the county is small.
Yeah.
Not like Texas.
Right.
So I was like, oh, man. But then I remember that they do the salsa competitions. They had some vendors. I remember they didn't have the rides. I know they had the bounce houses, but they had like a axe throwing thing. I remember seeing that.
Yep.
Then last year they didn't have that. But I think at night, do they got a band?
Yes, every night.
Okay, I've been there at night.
I think so. I'll just double check, but yeah.
But they do something that's really cool is that derby.
Yeah.
That stuff is really cool. I remember we went to it, and then there was some people that had earmuffs, and then I was like, oh, it's gonna be loud. But then like I don't know if it's like the first round they're hitting, I'm like, it's not that loud. Until like it's the last round, and then they go ham on that stuff. And I was like, oh,
that exhaust gets loud. Yeah, you'll see babies with like the little baby ear headphones.
See, that stuff that was cool. Like even though the Clay County Fair is smaller, then I thought I would actually go back to just to see that derby.
Yeah.
I think that derby is really, really cool. I don't know if they could do more stuff.
Yeah. We did add something new this year. So the Derby has, again, been around for a long time, and I don't think people realize they wouldn't, but a couple of years back, we were in considering or like in a spot where maybe the Derby wasn't going to make it either. The interest in demolition derby is really expensive, first of all, but the interest of it kind of fluxes. And again, Missy O'Connor, she was able to find a new promoter for us for their demo derby, and really they took charge of getting a lot more competitors. And so we've got really great local competitors, but then it also draws people competing from Iowa, from Nebraska, from Minnesota. We get a ton of people. Yeah. And the derby community is awesome. They are so great. They're such great people. They're here for a good time, and they want to support fair and 4-H too. But the derby's been around for forever. So that's not going anywhere. We did change the time or the date. A couple of years ago, it was Friday. And Vermillion has a tendency, I love you, Vermillion, but we have a tendency to not always like change. And we had changed the demolition derby, which was always on Friday night, to Saturday. People thought we were crazy. It was never going to work. People were going to boycott and riot. It was fine. We had a couple grumblers, but they showed up anyway.
Saturday would be fine.
You would think so. It was really hard for people who worked and were competing as well or wanted to watch to get here in time on a Friday, which is totally understandable. Made the decision to move it to Saturday. Well, that opened up Friday. Friday, we added ATV mud drags where they ride the four-wheeler and the side-by-sides through literal tubes of mud. Like they are channels of dirty mud. And we have a lot of kids that like hang out by the fence and get just painted. They wait till the mud splashes them and then they turn around and like wave at mom and dad. Hey, mom and dad. And they are brown. They are so muddy. And the kids love that. New this year is bull riding.
Oh, yeah. You have bull riding?
Yeah. Raise 'em Rank is I don't know how to, they raise bucking bulls. They are in the area and they are hosting this bull riding competition. We are having it the same place, this big open arena, and that is Thursday night. And we are so excited because they mean it when they say raise 'em rank. Like, I don't know if you know what rank means, but they are just rough bulls. They are here to tear it up and they're going to knock some skulls around.
Oh, man.
It's going to be a great show.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be here for the Clay County Fair because I got a trip to Mexico for 2 weeks. Oh man,
this year you won't be here, but next year there's gonna be a Clay County Fair next year, 2025. You got to be there.
Do you know if that's gonna be moved to somewhere else?
So that's a really good question. Not 2025.
Okay.
We have a really great problem right now where we are expanding and we're outgrowing our space. So there's a steering committee with the fair board that is looking at the future of the fairgrounds. We're looking at options to either reinvest in our current location or look at a location elsewhere to rebuild. We'd like to grow a space or build a space that is more versatile, that will also solve some issues with city organizations. Our softball and our soccer, our wrestling clubs, a lot of our sports clubs need more space. So if the fairgrounds could be a house and a home for a large building to do that, as well as host like big events, kind of a community center in a sense, we're working on that.
Okay. So see, it is growing. Vermillion.
Yeah. Oh,
slowly,
yeah.
Slowly.
Yep. We have a huge, even just our one club in Clay County, our archery club, our shooting sports club is what we call it. They do rifles and bow and arrow. Is our fastest growing club in our county. And the club has gotten so big, their practices, I think they've had to go like 4 days a week now. And it used to be just once a week when I was in it. And then it grew to twice a week. And now it's literally 4 days a week because they can't fit everybody in the building.
Oh, there's archery and all that?
Yeah. Yep.
Dang.
And we're right down the road from Yankton's, which is the national center for archery right down the road, and a partnership between the two is definitely a possibility.
Is there also so I know the archery thing. Is there also like what would you call it, like a gun club or something like that?
There is a gun club down at Clay County Park, which is down Timber Road. It would be west of town. And there's a group of really great instructors, and there's even I think a concealed carry class too. There's something for everybody in Vermillion. And if you can't find it, I don't think you're looking hard enough. There's so much that we offer. And so definitely a gun club down at the park. And hopefully for those of you who are looking for something and you haven't found it yet, just call the VCDC. If we don't know, we know somebody who might know.
Okay, sweet. See, I was just thinking about that gun thing because, I think I shot a gun once in Texas, but here apparently it's very popular.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And there's this funny thing. So we go to Hillside Church, and then they do every year. I think it's around October. They call it a pumpkin shootout. They get together. We thought it was. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was where they're gonna like catapult pumpkins.
Oh yeah, we've seen that before.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sure.
Then we get there and you just hear, oh, because also they do a chili cook-off. Great. But we heard the pa pa pa. I'm like, what are they doing? And I see, and like they got a range and they're shooting pumpkins.
They're actually shooting the pumpkins.
Yeah, I should have thought of that. I don't know where I got the catapult thing from.
That's what I would have thought of too.
Yeah, and then but they asked me if I wanted to shoot. First, I was like, no, because I don't know how to shoot. And then I went. I'm like, all right, let's try it. I'm like shooting it, and it is not like Call of Duty at all. It is nothing like that.
No.
Like put me one-on-one on Rust, and I'll go ham. But none. This is way different than last year. So me and my wife shot. My wife is amazing for some reason, so now I'm more scared of her.
Not a good one.
Now last year, we went again, and then chili cook-off. So we shot the pistols, but they had a new thing. Either it was new or I didn't pay attention the following year, where it's I think it's like what do you call it, clay pigeon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trap
and-
shooting or clay pigeon.
Yeah. Now I don't know if it's a shotgun or is it right?
Usually.
Shotgun. Okay, that's what those. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they're shells full of little BBs.
Okay.
Yep.
Shells. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we were shooting pistols. I missed every shot for some reason. I can't.
They're hard.
Yeah, I can't hit.
Oof.
I'm shooting it straight, and it goes this way for some reason.
Yep.
Anyways, my wife's like, "Hey, you want to try the clay pigeon?" I'm like, first I'm like, no. If I can't hit it staying, how am I gonna hit something moving? So she goes. They shoot. I think it's seven clay pigeons, and she missed. I think she hit one or she missed them all. And she's like, "Your turn." I'm like, "All right." And everyone's watching me. I'm like, "Great."
No pressure.
This is gonna be the worst thing. So I say pull. They pull. Boom! I hit it.
Nailed it.
Boom! 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 I got all of them, and I'm like, "Oh snap!" And then this is what's going through my mind. So you know what a Nintendo is? Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yep.
That game Duck Hunt. I think that's where I got it from.
No way.
I think I got it. And I was telling Myra about it. She doesn't believe me. I'm like, no, that's how I got it. It has to be moving. So I know like a joke will say like, because we're thinking like in the future, should we have like a gun in the house for like protection and this and that? And I'm like, well, if there's an intruder, I have to tell him, hey, can you like move and run? Because if you stand still, I can't hit the shot for some reason. But that, I don't know where I was.
Yeah.
But
No, we have the same joke. We talk about that all the time because the guns in our house are locked up in a cabinet, which are downstairs. So if there's ever an intruder, we literally have to be like, wait, stay right there, guy. I got to go downstairs and get my gun. You don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. And then we had to go unlock the thing, get the gun, load it, and then go find, if there's ever an intruder, it's just too bad.
It's those complicated issues. And then for some reason, because after that, I was like, man, I kind of want a gun or that shotgun for if I go to, because I heard about the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, oh, yeah, they're pretty cheap. And I looked online. I thought it was going to be like a Nerf gun cheap, like $20, $30. I didn't think they were like, $500 for a gun.
Yeah.
And then plus the ammo. So I'll stick with the water guns and Nerf guns. They're no more.
Yep.
They're more cheaper.
No, hunting is super popular. And actually, I don't think it starts till October. So they have different seasons. There's deer season and pheasant season, but pheasant season is really, really popular here. Deer season's popular all over the place, but South Dakota is a prime tourist spot for those travelers who want to hunt primarily pheasant.
Mm-hmm.
And pheasant is a game bird, but you can also eat it. My dad has prepared it several times and it's delicious. But it's very much like trap shooting where like if you've got a dog to rush the pasture and get the pheasants up in the air, it's very much like that. You got to lead them and you got to follow with the gun. But so that's a huge tourist draw, the pheasant season.
See, and I haven't tried pheasant. I know a lot of our friends go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the first time here in South Dakota I tried deer sausage or deer something.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. And I like it. I really like it. We'll do like, I guess kind of exchange food. Like we'll bring like, for example, Mexican food. And as long as they bring that deer sausage, I'm like, that stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't had pheasant yet.
Yeah. It's good. It's a meteor duck or a meteor bird. My dad always breaded it and made like a mushroom gravy for it. So good. That's why I'm sturdy. I grew up eating some good food. So I'll last a couple winters.
Speaking of food, so in the Midwest, what is y'all's like, what I say, like staples or signature dishes for y'all?
Ooh, you know what? There is always the classic, the steak and potatoes and probably like a side salad because we're beef producers here. Pork loin, and some kind of potato. But I would say like South Dakota's niche is chislic, is the deep fried meat. You can have deer chislic. My dad's made deer chislic before, but there's sheep chislic, and beef chislic is just fine. But usually it's skewered. The first time I had sheep chislic or lamb chislic was at Turner County Fair, which is in Parker. And they have a line down the street. And their fair, I think their fair is like the oldest in South Dakota, if I'm right. Or at least it's massive. It is It is huge and definitely worth a visit. But they do the chislic, and then they deep fry it, and they feed thousands of people on that stuff. And you just like, I think you garnish it with garlic salt and you eat it with a plain old saltine cracker. It's delicious.
I saw they had last year and the year before at the Ribs Rods, someone selling chislic.
Yeah, I think it's Kemp's chislic.
Okay, I gotta try it.
Is it Kemp's? Because it's a family out of Scotland, and one of the owners, oh my gosh, I feel bad. I apologize. I don't remember his name. But him and I went to Morningside. I went to Sioux City, Morningside College when I was there, and he and I were classmates. And now he's in Scotland, Freeman area, and he's got a chislic stand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I gotta try that. Yeah.
Several people in town have it.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, I need to try all this stuff. One thing that you guys are really good at is, I think it's the desserts. For some reason, you guys nail desserts a lot. Yesterday, I just had my neighbor. Her name is Molly. Sorry, Molly. She made a red velvet cake, and I was like, wow, this stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
And another thing that I never tried before until this year is meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Really?
I never had it. I see it like on TV, like in the cartoons.
Yeah.
And it throws me off. And then they had it one time at this like community group we had, and I was hesitant, but I'm like, I like trying everything, so I ate it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's not very visually appealing, but if I'm not making it, I'm a foodie also, and I love to cook. And so I think my meatloaf is pretty good. I'd give it a B+. Cafe Brulee has a delicious meatloaf.
They sell meatloaf?
Yeah.
Oh.
I will shamelessly order it on a blazing hot day in the middle of July. I don't care. I'll buy it. It's so good.
Now, speaking of some restaurants, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that. Are we? What's your favorite place to go to?
My mother and father-in-law's. My father-in-law's an excellent cook. But and my brother-in-law, they make ribs like it's just a silly hobby, and they're killing it. Anyways, in town, that is so hard because it depends what I'm feeling, what kind of a mood I'm in. Oh my gosh, I don't think I can pick a favorite.
Here, I'll tell you the place where we, as a family, we love going to all the time. Silk Road. Tia and Jason are amazing. I like the food a lot. Another place that surprised me before, and I thought I would never go, was Dakota Brickhouse.
Really?
Because at first I thought it was a bar,
mm-hmm.
and then I heard it was also part of, I guess, Cafe Brulee. The owners they own that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I get that right. And I was like, are they selling the same food? But then we go to Dakota Brickhouse. I'm like, oh, it's not like their. I think I got like their. I think it was like a pork sandwich. Whatever they got is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I tried Bunyan's. Got their wings, which were really good.
Yep.
I think it was just a dry rub, and that surprised me.
Yep.
What else? The only place I think I still have. So I've been to Old Lumber.
Yep.
But I've only been there like if it's like, for example, I've been there at a wedding or like a little event or a little conference, but I haven't been there to order like a food item.
Yeah.
So I think I haven't covered that yet.
Okay. I will raise you that and then bring up the one place that surprised me. I started golfing last year, brand new to golf, comically bad. I just bring the vibes, and I'm really fun. That's the only talent that I have. I really can't golf, but it's a lot of fun. The golf course has great food.
The golf course?
Yes. One of my favorite quesadillas is the chicken and pepper one, and it is sinfully bad. Like, it's so good. It's bad for you. It can't taste that good and be that healthy for you. But it surprised me genuinely how good the food at the golf course is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, now I got another one. This one did surprise me a lot, and it surprised my parents when they came. Mr. Smith's.
Yeah.
Like, cause
the location.
Yeah, which I guess, knowing the history, it was there technically first, but it surprised me because Wells Fargo's there, and then I would look, and there would be like a line in the hardware store. I'm like, what's going on? Why are people here at 12? Thought they were just buying stuff, and I hear there's a sandwich shop, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I'm not gonna eat a sandwich place in here.
Yeah.
And then I heard about it, and then they recommended it. And I'm like, fine, let's try this place.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, but there's already Subway. And that was a horrible. Yeah, that was a horrible comparison. So I apologize, Mr. Smith's. But their sandwiches are really good. I heard they make their own bread?
Yes.
Maybe that helps too. But they really, man, this stuff is really good.
Yes.
I just didn't know how to order it at first.
Yeah, it's a art form.
Yeah, but those sandwiches are really, really good.
I am a Reuben junkie. Have you tried a Reuben before? Have you got there yet? Try it. I'm a Reuben junkie. The Reuben at Wimp's in Burbank, the Reuben at the pub, my go-tos. The Reuben at Mr. Smith is perfection. I asked for a little extra stout. There's corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, and Thousand Island dressing on the bread is up for debate. Sometimes it's pumpernickel, sometimes it's rye, sometimes it's a mix, whatever. I don't care. You could put it between two flip-flops. I'd probably eat it. It's delicious, and Mr. Smith nails it every time, and that's my favorite sandwich there. But if I'm feeling like I can't make my decision, I just go with the sandwich of the month. They know what they're doing back there.
Okay.
A good sandwich. And then Troy Rakusek is he handles the catering for Mr. Smith, and a lot of people forget or don't know that Mr. Smith does catering too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, also Hex Barbecue is pretty good, and I'm not a barbecue expert, but I had like Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
And when we were in Texas a few weekends ago, I took my wife to eat Texas barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really good. I like it. But when we ate Hex barbecue, I ate it, and it was really good. And I don't think they messed up, but I'll tell you why. It was like, I think the first time I ordered it, they gave me, I ordered it was like a pork sandwich, but there was no sauce. Either it came with it or they forgot, but it was like really, like it didn't even need the sauce. That's how I was so impressed.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I ordered there, I don't even know if I should put the sauce because it's that good.
Yeah.
And I know the Texas barbecue stuff, and it's not like, because I heard like up north the barbecue tends to be sweet. Not this one. It's not like a sweet. It's really good.
Really smoky.
Yeah. It's
really, got that smoke and then the juice. So Jody, that Hex barbecue, I hope I get the lines right here, but my husband's grandpa Paul Bliss, so like Bliss Point, that's my husband's family on that side. Yep, his grandma still lives right across the street in a big house across from Bunyan's. But and actually Paul Bliss, that was his bar, Bunyan's, who is the owner and operator. But he was also part of starting Hex Barbecue. It was his family's recipe for the sauce. And then back several years when Gail and Paul would host, like I think it was the Hunters that would come back, Paul had this massive roaster cooker that he would use corn cobs to feed the smoke. And some people do wood, like there's hickory smoke and the different wood types. But Paul had corn cobs, and that gives that meat that distinguished, that smoke that's not overpowering. It's real gentle, but it's there. So that's why theirs tastes off the chart better than everybody else's.
Okay, that is, I've never heard of. Another thing about it, speaking of food, I don't know what we're talking about.
Because we're foodies.
So I know when people, they would ask us, like what we thought about some of the Mexican food here. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, like when Mexico Viejo was still here, they would ask us and they say, hey, what do you think about it? Does it suck, this and that? I'm like, no, first of all, I'll be like, it's not like authentic Mexican, which is fine. It's Tex-Mex. So I know both. I know authentic. I know the Tex-Mex. Yep. And we've ate there before, and yeah, it was good. I like it. So I don't know if people thought we were just going to bash. I'm like, no, it's really good. I like it. Same thing like at Blue Tequila. We've been there once, I think a year ago. Mm-hmm. And same thing. It's not authentic, but it's more of the, the Tex-Mex Americanized one, which is fine. Yep. So I think it's fine. But when we went to Sioux City, now those are some places that got some good food. Mm-hmm. But I'll give you some people. They would tell me about, hey, have you been to La Juanitas?
I was just gonna say that.
But apparently there's two Juanitas.
Yes.
Now, which one's the one that you guys are more familiar with?
Well, so going to school in Sioux City at Morningside, we always went there after we patroned a couple of establishments late at night. We would go to La Juanita's, and it was the one just off of 4th Street. Yeah, just off of 4th Street.
So that's not the South Sioux one, right?
No.
Okay.
Is it La Juanita's in South Sioux also?
So that's why. So everyone was telling us about that, and we were like, we've been there, but there's one in South Sioux called La Juanitas, and it's I mean, okay, for me it's kind of normal, but it's like a very ghetto place there.
They tend to land there, don't they?
And then we've been there. We go there a few times, and I think it's really, really good. But they were like, no, you got to go to the other Juanitas, and I was like, which one? And then I that's the one.
Yeah.
Apparently that's the bigger one, or the popular one that people go to. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So I don't know if it's the same. They got the same name.
I'm curious because I don't know.
I feel like it's not the same though, because the food so
it was different.
It was different, but I was so surprised. The service is like the fastest service I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything that fast. You can see their lineup. I think it's like a family, but I ordered my food. I sat down, and then the order was ready. And I was like, whoa,
I haven't even opened my pop yet.
Yeah, that was fast.
Yeah.
And then I'm so excited. We're all excited, and we eat it. And overall, we're like, it's fine. So it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we were just so hyped because everyone said La Juanitas. And I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I should go back to it. But the other Juanitas in South Sioux, that one's really good. I don't know if people go to it, but that one's good. And then there's one more place that we like, and it's called La Momia, which means the mummy. Now, that one looks way more ghetto. Like, you got bars.
The mummy, like mommy, or the mummy, like wrapped up Egyptian?
Yeah, Egyptian.
Embalming.
Yeah, the mummy.
Okay.
That one looks, because like next to it, like these apartment complexes, there's some graffiti, and then like it's only drive-through. They got bars, but that food is pretty good. Well, cash only.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes total
sense.
So
I'm used to like places like if it's ghetto, if it looks bad, the place that's where the best food is.
Yeah, we went to maybe an interesting looking location in South Sioux. It was Mi Familia, and it was delicious. I had my first pupusa there. It was delicious. But is that El Salvadorian?
Yeah, and
yeah.
I'll tell you something. I don't know. Keep going, because I was gonna.
We sat down, and it was a group of us. We're feeling rough. We sat down, and they brought us two little, like, salsa. Like, I want to say a centerpiece. They just set them down, and there were 3 separate bowls of salsa, and there were 2 of them. As soon as we sat down, no questions asked. Here's some salsa. What do you want? It was amazing. It was some of the best food I've ever had.
See, the pupusas, they're El Salvadorian. Yeah. But so I've tried pupusas down there a few years ago. I tried it like 3 times, and I actually didn't like it. But we went to Omaha, I think a few weeks ago. No, I know, not Omaha, but we went through Nebraska. We had to pick up my daughter from a camp. Now I remember that. But when we were going there, we saw a little food truck outside, like in the middle of nowhere, like it's in the town. I forget what the town's called, and it's in the heat. There's like no one there, and I'm like, that place is pretty good. And my wife's like, let's try it when we come back. So we come back, and they sell pupusas, and I'm like, man, I've tried it before, but let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. And we're talking to him, and it's great. He's telling about his history and this and that. It's all El Salvadorian food, and he gave it to us, and I'm telling you, it was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. It was that good. It was pretty cheap. I think it was like $3 or $2 or something like that. But it was good, man. It was pretty good. I would drive back. I would drive 2 hours to get that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love those little finds where you're like, yeah, let's give it a shot, and then it just blows your mind. That's the best.
See, and that's what okay, we'll go off the food topic in a bit. But like with the idea with us, we're making the tacos, because it's usually food truck stuff. And a thing that's maybe people don't know, it's not no one's fault. So like in Mexico, it's there's no food trucks at all. It's usually like you'll see like it's in a cart, like in a stand,
Oh, sure.
or just like in a building. But there's not there's no food trucks.
Mhm.
So that's why like when Myra was saying, hey, we should sell tacos and this and that, and we were like, and I said, well, we don't got a food truck. First of all, it's expensive. Well, let's just do how they do in Mexico. Just get like a stand, a tent, and people could see us chopping up and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we were doing, and it was very fun. It was great. I hope people liked it, and that's what we thought. Like that's how we imagine the street food stuff, and that's something I wish there was more stuff in Vermillion, like on the at nighttime, more of a like street food style. Like if they could just block the main street like that area for like a night, and just anyone could sell like food, something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know if that would be like an issue with permits and all that. Something like
So
that.
if you can find an event that's already happening and join forces, the event will have already secured like the street closure and have communicated with the city with those types of needs. So that's kind of nice with the VCDC is that we're usually already doing something. We just want you to come hang out with us, so you guys join along.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest way to do it. Yeah.
So you guys should do like a little street food night one day.
We can make it happen. That'd be great.
You know what I like though? Also, one of the events is that Stand Still Parade of Lights.
Yeah.
Last year I think it was way better than the other years. And other years are pretty good. But last year was. I mean, they said the weather was nice.
Yeah.
I thought it was cold still.
Yeah.
But the weather was. I mean, the event was. It looked huge.
Yeah. It's grown significantly. Yeah. And again, the community supports this and gets behind it because it's great for families. It's not long. Your whole night isn't ruined. It's a 45-minute parade technically. And you get in, you see Santa, you visit the vendors, and then you go back either to the library. They have some events too. And then the fact that it's free, like we want everybody to be able to join and be a part of it. So that's something that the VCDC, we're the facilitators, but we are the businesses in Vermillion. So the businesses in Vermillion have communicated to us and said, this is what we want to support. This is what we want to do. So it's really everybody that you see that if their name is on the back of a shirt of a soccer player, if a business's name is on a poster somewhere, it's because they're putting this on. We're just connecting the dots.
Okay. That's cool. Have you guys worked with other, I feel like I asked you this before about, do you guys work with other chambers?
Yeah. So we, one that I can remember pretty significantly, and it's funny that you had Kelsey Doom on. Yeah. She from Brookings, great girl. Love her. We really beefed up the rivalry, and at the USD SDSU game a couple of years ago, we made that a big thing. And we like to do that because the rivalry is the rivalry, but we want to play it up. It's a lot of fun. We're a split household ourselves. Like I think I might be the only Coyote fan in my house, and my husband is a Jackrabbit alum. All of the Heines are SDSU fans. And, I think he's converted my kids. So, it's just me holding down the fort, waving my red flags. But we really played that one up. That was a lot of fun. And then Nancy Winandi with Yankton's Chamber of Commerce. We work together a lot with them. We're so close, and a lot of the struggles that they have, we have as well. Some of the things that work for them would work for us. And it's amazing how much impact that we would feel. It's the same thing that Yankton is feeling. And there's a lot of carryover. There's a lot of businesses in Yankton that do business here or have expanded here or vice versa. So we have a lot of shared businesses, and tons of people commute. Like my parents work full-time in Yankton. They have my whole life. And so there's a lot of our outside communities, our smaller ones like Gayville, Vollen, like Wakanda, Viborg, Centerville. We are in Irene. They are smaller communities, but they all have their things. And Vermillion and Yankton don't exclude from them. So whatever we can do for our outside communities, Yankton's doing with us together, because we have members of those communities utilizing Vermillion services and Yankton services.
Is there a South Dakota State Fair or no?
Yeah.
Oh, there is? Oh man, I thought there wasn't. Like, why don't you guys do something here? But never mind.
Yeah. No, and oh my gosh, I don't know if the first state fair had been in Huron, if it's always been in Huron, but it's in Huron, South Dakota.
Okay.
one of my favorite things will be going. It's the last weekend in August into Labor Day. So, or excuse me, August until September. So, and it's up in here, and it's like a week and a half long, technically.
Oh, okay.
More like a week long, but yeah.
So the Iowa one is different. I could have someone said the Iowa State Fair, which I was thinking was a South Dakota, but they said that one's like one of the biggest state fairs.
It is. It's huge.
Okay.
Iowa and Minnesota have
That's
huge state fairs. Yeah.
okay.
And South Dakota's state fair is growing. We're just a little bit smaller. Huron is a smaller town. I can't remember where Iowa State Fair is. Was it in Des Moines or is it somewhere else?
Is it in Des Moines?
I can't remember.
I don't know, but it was far because we were thinking, oh, we should go. For some reason, I thought it was like in Sioux City, and then it said like 8 hours.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Nebraska's is in Grand Island. I don't know if I've never been to Nebraska State Fair, but I've been to Missouri State Fair. I can't remember the name, but been there once. We showed horses down there, and that was super fun. All the state fairs are a lot of fun. Every single state, I would assume, has a state fair, but
yeah,
South Dakota's definitely is a lot of fun.
How hard would it be if you guys like, let's say for the Clay County Fair, would it be hard to do like horse races? Or is that dangerous?
Horse races, I think, are a totally different game because you assume there's betting with it, right? Track would be kind of hard to come by because it needs to be pretty. Yeah, I know that's pretty small. That's way too small.
Pony races?
Pony racing. We've had donkey rides or was it donkey races? Yeah.
Really?
The Clay County Fair hosted donkey races a couple of years ago, and we got area celebrities to ride the donkeys and race, and it was hilarious. It was super, super fun. So we've had that at the fair at the arena, and that was a lot of fun. Maybe a little bit dangerous. I think that might be one that is, I'm safe to say, is not going to come back.
Really?
It was pretty deadly. Pretty dangerous.
I'm going to ask that because I think next week I'm doing an episode with the Clay County Fair Board and 4-H people.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm going to ask them now.
Yeah. Yes. Asking about the donkey day.
All right. So we are like way over an hour, but I do want to give you the last words or shout outs or anything you wanted to say.
Oh, man. Catch me off guard.
No worries. We got time.
Well, first of all, I've been following this podcast since episode 3. I loved it. Yes, I think I might be the only person who left a comment either on Spotify or on the Facebook page. I like to do that. It's my favorite way to, like, if you're a person who wants to support a business or a movement or a group without buying anything, I'm kind of stingy. I'm like, I don't want to pay extra. But if that is the best way to support somebody without like purchasing something or buying something, give them a review, give them a push out, give them a like, a share, whatever. And I always make a point to leave a review if I can. If it's good or bad, I try to make a point to leave a review. So absolutely loved your podcast. I think it's great that you're sharing your story. And I love the journey that you guys have been on with getting here at the first time and dealing with the financial hardships and then finding a job and then just the cultural barriers. And then on top of it, we've got a kid. So we're trying to like maneuver school systems. And I mean, Vermillion has wonderful schools. We're really happy with our school district and our kids are doing great. But your story and that you've shared it is so commendable for you to completely pick up everything, move your whole life to a place you literally have never heard of before. So I am extremely blown away and I commend you for everything that you've done. And then a podcast. Love this. I love the idea of a podcast. And the ones that I've listened to, their interviews, I really, really loved because I listened to like Kelsey. I've known her for so long and I thought that I pretty much knew everything about her, learned so much. And everybody, even Jim's, who I thought I knew pretty well, you getting the story of people that here in Vermillion. And you do it so well. It's very conversational. Obviously, we are like an hour over our time. Like, I feel like I've just been shooting the, gabbing the whole time. And it's really easy. You have a very conversational way of talking to people. And I think your podcast is fabulous. And so I love that. That was pretty much all I wanted to say about that. But I really love it. I'm glad that it's out there. And otherwise, I would just encourage everybody to be kind and ask some questions.
Sweet.
That's what I'd leave you with.
All right, sweet. So if everyone wants to know more about Katie, reach her at the VCDC. You got an email and everything, right?
Yeah, Katie@vermillionchamber.com. And yeah, that's where you can find information about our favorite city and about us.
Sweet, sweet. Well, thanks so much, Katie.
Thank you so much for having me.